Who knows? Who knows if you'll even see this video, because the way YouTube moving, the way they moving, I'm telling you, I'll share something, one like, one subscribe. Meanwhile, others sitting in a dimly lit room looking like, I don't know, you in a cave. A million views, a million likes. They just got the complexion for protection, honey. But we ain't gonna sweat them, because what is mine will be mine. The thing is that your girl is all about fairness and equity. I have said this again and again. And if I spot something that is stinky, and if I spot something that don't smell right, if the milk ain't clean, I'm gonna bring it up. Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. Thank you for joining me. However this finds you, I hope it finds you well. So today's video is going to be a little different. I'm gonna talk to you about something that I have been struggling with. Something that has been taking a lot of my energy over the past month or so, almost 2 months, and is quite disappointing. I am having to reconcile this thing, y'all, and it is pretty tough. This something that has been frustrating me lately is YouTube's AI content moderation. Y'all, if I come up missing, y'all know YouTube got me, y'all. But I don't care. This has to be discussed. And as a marketer, one, and as somebody who is honest and authentic, two, I gotta tell y'all the truth. So if you are an up-and-coming YouTuber, you likely have spent hours and hours looking at content on exactly how to build up your channel, how to get more followers, get more likes, get more exposure, and you have likely learned or been told that your thumbnail has to look a certain way, that your background has to look a certain way, your lighting must be a certain way, use this camera, dress this way, use this lip gloss, use this fragrance. You've been told all of these things, and you've likely been overwhelmed because you're making these tweaks, these fixes, and not seeing the results that you've expected. For those who are putting their heart, their soul, their energy into a platform that continues to tell them, you're not good enough, you don't know what you're doing, if only you fix this, if only you fix this, then maybe, y'all, there's a lies. Not true. 90% of it, not true. Trust me, I'm not just speaking out the side of my neck. You see, your girl's not only just a marketer. Your girl also is a tech marketer, and your girl also has expertise in AI and marketing. She is certified and credentialed in all of these areas. So I kind of know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and it helps me to clearly identify what it is that I am seeing. You ain't gonna on me and say that it's rain, honey. I'm not only looking at my content approach, but I'm looking at the content approaches of those who are within my category, how they operate, where and why they are excelling, and taking from them some kind of insight, right? And so I have been applying these insights, some of them to myself, not necessarily changing up my content, but thinking about how I can tweak things. About 2 months ago, I started leaning more into brand personas for celebrities, politicians, the like. And what I noticed, especially when it comes to the latter, is that suppression was actually occurring. So even though we had the SEO right, even though we had the lighting right, even though we had the angles right, the results weren't necessarily coming. And what I tested this against was I looked at, as I mentioned, other individuals in my category to see exactly what was happening with their channels. And the results were shocking, but not shocking, because you see individuals that didn't necessarily look like me, sound like me, those individuals, their channels were over-indexing in performance. Meanwhile, my channel was having a little bit more of a struggle. So I took this hypothesis, I took this thinking, and I put it in my back pocket. Now, this is nothing new, y'all. We all know that when it comes to certain creators, they don't get as much love. They don't get as much shine, especially at the beginning of their content journey. But where I got the proof, if you will, of suppression, specifically suppression driven by AI, was when I started to explore the Google Ads journey. A couple of things happened. One, I noticed that some of my videos were getting flagged, and they were being flagged inappropriately. They were being flagged for political content when I don't necessarily talk about political content. What I am talking about is individuals and how they present from the lens of a brand marketer, a personal marketing professional. And if that person happens to be a politician, so be it. If they happen to be a track star, so be it. If they happen to be your Aunt Judy, so be it. But when I started having conversations with individuals at Google, specifically at Google Ads, they actually confirmed that AI is doing most of the scrubbing of our content. And oftentimes what happens is it is scrubbing improperly. But here's the trick. We humans teach AI how to behave. And so it made me question, who is teaching this platform what is savory and what is unsavory, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable? And then I began to further interrogate what my colleagues, what my peers were actually sharing, talking about, and discussing, and who was getting lifted and who was not. And y'all, it was eye-opening for me. So I'm gonna come back at another time to delve even deeper into what I've experienced as a content creator, but as one who has deep marketing experience, honey. And therefore, I'm coming from a place of understanding how these platforms actually work, and we will have some receipts, okay? But for now, back to the topic at hand. We are talking about the ethics of AI in content creation. So as AI becomes more prevalent in marketing, content creation, and everyday business operations, it is crucial that we understand the ethical implications behind these tools. Y'all know I am a fan of AI, but as I mentioned, I've also experienced the harm that it can cause. With great power comes great responsibility. So let's break down what this means for those of us who are working in the world of content creation. AI has transformed content creation and enabled us to produce articles, videos, images, posts, audio more efficiently. From natural language processing, NLP, generating written content, to image recognition, selecting visuals, AI tools have become key to increasing productivity and creativity. But we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? So AI isn't just about saving time. Lord knows it has helped me with that. It also brings up serious questions around bias, discrimination, and privacy, which are especially important in today's world where inclusivity and fairness, at least for me, are non-negotiable. There are benefits, no doubt, of AI in content creation, as I've alluded. It has undeniable perks. So for starters, it automates repetitive tasks and allows creators like you and me to focus on more of the strategic part of the work and the creative part of the work. AI can also analyze massive data sets to tailor content to specific audiences and even scale production globally by generating content in multiple languages. But while these benefits are great, they don't come without challenges, y'all. And that's where ethics comes into play. So this is why I had such a beef with what it was that I was witnessing, because you're not going to gaslight me and tell me that what I'm seeing isn't real. These are the ethical considerations of AI in content creation. 3 major ethical concerns come when we think about AI and content creation: bias and discrimination, privacy and data protection, accountability and transparency. Let's talk about bias and discrimination. AI algorithms learn from data. And as I said, if that data is biased, so will the AI's output be. So for example, if your data set isn't diverse and doesn't witness representation, the content generated could unintentionally or intentionally discriminate against certain groups. Think about ads targeting specific demographics. What happens when AI reinforces harmful stereotypes by showing different content based on someone's race or gender? Or, in reverse, what happens when that same AI suppresses because of someone's race or gender? It happens, y'all. So to avoid this, we need to make sure that the data feeding our AI systems is just as diverse, just as inclusive as those who are consuming the content. The builders must look like the individuals that visit and live in the house. Second, privacy and data protection. AI thrives on data. Data is AI's mother. But that data often includes personal information. And if companies aren't transparent about how they are collecting and using data, it can lead to major privacy violations. It's crucial for marketers to comply with these privacy laws and to be upfront about how they are handling user data. People should be able to opt in and out of their data being used, and that ensures that their privacy is being respected. The thing about this is sometimes you will have to go through multiple layers. It's easy to get into the queue, but harder to get out. So for example, when you visit a website and you say, sure, accept cookies, that's so simple, right? But if you had to backtrack and see who is tracking you, that's even more difficult. Not as easy. And that is by design. Who is responsible when AI makes a mistake? It's not enough to say, oh, it's the algorithm. As creators and developers, we humans need to take responsibility for the decisions that these systems make. That means being transparent about how these systems work and regularly auditing them to ensure that they are producing fair and accurate performance and content. So, at this point, the story that I shared with you, it is not enough for someone from Google to come back to me and say, oh, the algorithm is doing this. What? Y'all serious? It's humans. It's a human that's responding to me now about what a computer is doing. Have we gotten that far? Where you can't control the computer? Oh, okay. My thinking around ethical AI in content creation: diversify your input data. To prevent bias, you need to ensure that the AI is trained on diverse data sets. The broader the representation, the more inclusive your content will be. You can train AI. You can train it. It's not something that can just lose its way. We have a responsibility to make sure that it gets to where it needs to go. Regular monitoring is a must. Update your algorithms and make sure there is human oversight to catch any bias that a system might overlook. I'm talking to you, developers. Number 3, engage in ethical decision making. Before deploying any AI, ask yourself, what are the potential ethical risks? How will AI impact this audience? Now, it's interesting because YouTube has now developed it where, as creators, you have to indicate whether or not AI has been used to generate your content. I love that. Because by prioritizing fairness and transparency, you not only build trust with an audience, but you also avoid potential harm. Here's the thing though, the likes of YouTube, Google, they need to apply what they're telling us, what they're wagging and pointing at creators and at users. They need to point into themselves. Y'all, AI offers many amazing opportunities, but it also comes with ethical responsibilities. By addressing bias, suppression, and protecting privacy and staying transparent, we can ensure that AI-driven content creation is fair, equitable, and effective. And for those of us dealing with bias on platforms like YouTube, it is a reminder that we need to keep pushing for better and more equitable systems. I'm not gonna stop, y'all. 10 toes down on this. If you're a creator, a marketer, or a business leader and you're using AI, keep these ethical concerns in mind. Ethical AI isn't just a best practice. This is essential to building a future where everyone and anyone can thrive. Y'all, thank you so much for listening to my rant, for being here, for following, for liking, subscribing, for sharing with your girlies or your guys. I so appreciate you as I am on this journey. Believe me, there's more to come. And I will be sharing additional details, as I mentioned. Promise that. Bet on that. In the meantime, remember, you're capable of big things. I'll see you next time.